In this video, I will show you how you can turn a normal photo into something that could be printed on a canvas painting. If you really want to make this for canvas painting, make sure it's big enough to print. So don't use dimensions smaller than the dimensions you want to print. So first check what size you want to print it, and after that work in that dimension. If you want to learn more about Photoshop and digital art, make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss any new videos. Alright, before I start editing this is the original photo. So I removed the background here with a pen tool. And now I will show you how you can get like a perfect cut of this animal. So this doesn't look right, as you can see. So I just made like this raw cut with it with a pen tool. And now I'm gonna make it all right. So first thing what I will do here is to create a solid color background. Let's change it something gray but enough contrast between the tiger and the background. So this is fine. Press OK. After that you want to press on this mask here. Select right mouse and select the mask. And here we can fix the edge of this tiger. So first you want to select this one and go around the edge first. Alright, this is okay for now. As you can see, we just have to brush these parts here and here. So this is okay. I'm gonna press OK now. Alright, next thing what you could do here is to just use a black brush and to get rid of all these little parts here. You can even make the hardness a little bit more so you get a hard edge. So this is what I'm gonna do, but I will show you now how to fix these parts here, because these are a little bit more complicated. These whiskers here, it doesn't work with a brush, so what I did was I duplicated this layer from this tiger so I can see where the original whiskers are. And what I'm gonna do now is create a new layer, and with a pen tool, make sure to select shape here, and let's leave the stroke at 2 pixels, make it white, and get rid of the fill. And with this I can draw all these whiskers again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do it like this, make a new layer, do it again with all these whiskers here, or at least most of them. And after that I will brush the edges of them to make them soft. So this way I can make these whiskers back like they were, because this didn't work with a normal cutout and select the mask. So I have to do it like this because the background is too dark here and there is not enough contrast between the background and his whiskers apparently. So I'm gonna do it like this. Now as you can see here, I have all these whiskers in different layers, so I'm gonna select them all, holding down shift, select them all and select this. So I put them all in a folder, and when I remove this you will see that I have all these whiskers drawn. Now we have to make these edges soft, so I'm gonna create a mask here on this whole folder, select the black brush, make sure to bring the hardness down, leave the opacity and flow at 100, and just brush these edges so you don't see this hard edge. And do the same for the other side. So here, just do it careful when you come close to the other whiskers, so you don't ruin them in the center somewhere, just like that. And that way we are creating like real whiskers. We don't have to cut them out. This one is difficult. Let's make this shorter, like that. What I could do now is to duplicate all these whiskers. So if you want to create more of these, instead of drawing them again, you can just duplicate a couple of these layers. But I think this is enough for this one. Just want to make sure you don't see these ends here, these parts here. This one is black, this whisker, so I could make this one black. Let's see. If you want to go into like details of everything, you can even make some black like the original one. Just make sure it starts at the same point where it comes out of him. So I just double click on this, make this black, and we have a black whisker. So that's really easy to get all the details right. What I'm going to do now is create a new layer. Make sure it's a clipping mask, so it's inside this layer underneath them. Fill it with 50% gray, so that way we can always adjust the settings of it. So for instance, I could make the opacity lower, so I don't want to work on the original layer. I just want a separate layer for every effect that I create. And here we are going to create some more shadows. So with the burn tool, you can make more shadows on this photo. So try to use the burn tool and get some areas darker so it doesn't look like a flat image. So that way we are creating some depth now here. So try to make like for instance, for this image, it is the left side because the original lighting is on the right side here. So I want to make sure I have a little bit of more dark areas on the left side of this. So I don't want to make them dark on the right side because you're gonna ruin the image and the lighting is gonna be weird. You want to make sure the original lighting stays at the same spot. So use the burn tool to make these areas darker. Start with highlights around 50%, then do the midtones around 30%, and then the shadows around 10%, maybe even less. Don't do it too much because then you will ruin the image. Just do it slightly until you get something that you like and it has some nice contrast in here and some beautiful shadows. Alright, now we can do the opposite of shadows, and that is to get the highlights lighter. So I usually do this to lighten up the eyes. So I create a new layer again, fill it with 50% gray. I forgot to tell that you need to change the blending mode to overlay, so you won't see it, only the stuff that you do in this layer. And what I did was lighten up these eyes. So with the Dutch tool, you can lighten up eyes of this animal. So you get like this really mysterious, beautiful look on this face. Here I changed the background because I didn't like the one before. Don't mind the zombie eyes, I removed them later. This was just to check out how that looked. And I did some brushing with cloud brushes. I will make sure that you can find all these brushes in the description. They're really easy to use. You just double click on them, they are opened in Photoshop, and you can brush all the stuff around it into clouds, mist, whatever. I used some Lightroom presets for this effect. So if you want to get these, check the link in the description. They are really useful for photos and digital art. Now once I got some different images created in Lightroom with these presets, I just export them as different files. So you can see here I have 2 different layers that I created in Lightroom with these presets, and you can see that looks really different from the image that I had in Photoshop. So this way I can give that extra touch to the image. So if you're struggling in Photoshop and you want to give that extra little touch to either the photo or your final design, just try out these presets and you will see a huge difference that it makes. There are 8 presets in this pack. I usually use always the same presets. So because I don't really do photography, I only do digital art, but there are a couple of presets that work for photography better than the other ones. So I usually only use the ones for digital art. And as you can see, this one is one of them, and the other one also. So these 2 layers that I got on top of them. So yeah, I still have these zombies eyes here that I removed later. It looked a little bit fake, so I didn't want those. But when you create these images in Lightroom, you can get like this really cool effect to your image. And the only thing you have to do after that is just import them into Photoshop and do some little changes here. As you can see, I tried to lighten up these eyes also, but I think it looked a little bit like some zombie tiger. So I didn't want to have that anymore. I got rid of it at the end. So make sure to check those out. And this is really different for every image that you create. So what I'm doing here is, it really depends on what kind of image you have. If you have a different image, you need to have different colors and all that stuff. So at the end, I always do some curves. As you can see here, I first lighten up the highlights a little bit and darker tones, make it even darker. After that, I switch these curves to the different colors because I always want to have something blue in this image. I want to have the dark areas a little bit more blue. In this case, a little bit more red also. So try to use these settings at the end when you're done with your whole design. Change these sliders slightly and see how that changes your image. You don't want to do this too much. Just do them slightly so you still have original colors, but you get them right. So usually when you design and you get really weird colors, and at the end you can always fix that to get the colors right. So use the color balance to that, and also the curves. So with the curves you can make colors like different colors, darker and lighter, and always try to do this at the end. So you just make a new layer on top of everything. You can also do gradient here, gradient fill, to get like the center lighter than the edge. You gotta make sure he stays in the center of this image. So with this one you can change this to soft light or overlay or whatever you like best, and see how that changes your image. So that is it for this one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you like this video, and see you on the next video.